Hi, it's me, and that's him, and we're the Sci-Fi Scholars.
My brain just went blank.
This week we're talking Jared has insomnia, amnesia, mental deficiencies. Jared's going to a mental home.
Goodbye, world. What did we watch again?
X-Men Apocalypse?
Oh, that's what it's called, right? Yeah.
Apocalypto. In the footsteps of
X-Men
Sabuna.
3. I mean, we're technically 6.
Hi, it's me, and that's him, and we're the Sci-Fi Scholars.
And we're talking X-Men Apocalypse. As always, to stay spoiler free, click where that box pops up.
Yep.
Wherever it pops up.
Somewhere.
I'll decide later.
Somewhere.
Whatever happens.
So, for this, one of the things I liked that came out before the movie was In the Footsteps of the N. Sabuna trailer, because it's a bit of hype, gives kind of some background onto Apocalypse or N. Sabuna, but doesn't show any scenes from the movie at all. It's just it's a hype trailer. It's done as if it's like a really old school documentary about some ancient historical figure, which I appreciate because it's something you can show people to, like, yeah, check this out. There's a movie coming out, without being like, and here's some spoilers. The main plot is.
Yeah, I didn't watch it until after.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't actually get around to it. You did tell me there was no spoilers, which for me is because you know how much I hate spoilers. So I was going to watch it, but then life, and then eventually I watched it. What, it was 5 minutes ago now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree. It was kind of cool. It was one of those what they call viral marketing.
Yes.
Where they release stuff that's not necessarily in the movie, like the Deadpool.
Yeah.
The thing. What are they called?
I don't know. Like they had a whole range of Deadpool just talking about random topics just to build hype and stuff. And I really hope going forward Marvel does this for all their films. Like brings in stuff that doesn't spoil the movies at all, but is the bit of marketing and something you can watch.
Another movie they did that was Prometheus. Remember the Alien prequel kind of. Anyway, they had the Wayland Co-op stuff that they did. That wasn't in the movie at all and wasn't in any of the marketing.
Yeah.
Apart from the viral stuff, and that's becoming a little bit more popular, normal.
Yeah. So I really like doing marketing that way because it means you can show people some visuals, because people always want to see like a video of something, but often trailers give away major plot points or
That's why I don't watch them.
Kind of steal one of like the coolest scenes to chuck in their trailer. It's like, well, I already know what's going to happen in that scene. Then again, we already kind of know what's going to happen at the end of X-Men because it's a superhero based movie. But yeah,
true. But I like that sort of marketing. I think it's great because, I mean, unless you're stringent like me and don't watch anything anyway, it means it's less spoilers to give away. I mean, I know the whole point of a trailer is to get people to want to watch it, but you don't have to. I mean, how many times I've seen people like, I watch trailers all the time, but seriously, trailers are getting way too spoilery now. Or people that are like, I don't care about spoilers, but even for the people.
But then again, they're also the people who get to the end of the movie didn't understand anything anyway.
Not necessarily.
Some of them.
Some of them, yes. But what I'm saying is, those people that watch trailers and don't mind being spoiled are saying that trailers are too spoily.
Yeah, they're getting very. Here's the entire movie in a short form.
Yeah, and all the funniest bits quite often are in there, and what happens as well is with the Amazing Spider-Man 2, or was it 1, whichever one it was, in the trailer, because I watched trailers back then beforehand, and I wasn't that hyped about them.
Yeah,
rightfully so. But there were scenes in the trailer that never showed up in the movie because they got deleted. Because the trailers are made before there's a final cut of the movie, which I found very frustrating. Which is part of the reason why I don't watch trailers at all anymore. So I'm not waiting for that scene to necessarily come up, and then at the end of the movie going, where was this scene?
Yeah, because that would just irritate you. Whereas I would be like, oh sweet, we got extra footage. Not that I don't watch a lot of trailers, but I do watch if I know that there's one that doesn't look like it's going to be just footage from the film, then I'll check it out.
I watch trailers for movies I don't really care about as well.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, yeah, I might watch that, and then watch the trailer and go, yeah, I won't watch that. Well, yeah, I'll watch that. So this X-Men Apocalypse review has turned into trailer reviews.
Hey, I started on a trailer for it.
I know, but we turned into a tangent, and I'm cutting it short so we can get back on track for the viewers.
It's only been
It's
5
you.
minutes.
I know, but still, I mean, we could have gone for another 10 minutes, let's face it.
Yeah. So, this movie is set in the trilogy starting with First Class.
Yes. First Class, Days of Future Past, and now Apocalypse.
Although the end of Days of Future Past is after this.
No, yeah, true. But the whole idea of the First Class trilogy was that they're calling it a trilogy, and it's apparently it's the last one in the First Class trilogy, or First Class sort of series. And they're reset.
So they're going to come back with Second Class Avengers.
X-Men. They're not Avengers.
Oh, whatever.
Or they could call it Second Class Avengers.
It's Marvel. X-Men, the Second Class Avengers. Now with restored Quicksilver.
Quicksilver was a highlight of the movie.
Yes, although his speed was, I don't know, toggleable.
Yeah.
How fast does he want to go in this scene? Or how close will the explosion be to him? Especially in the removing everyone from...
That was a cool scene, but a lot. It just felt like a rehash of the bullet scene from Days of Future Past. I was like, it wasn't different enough to be like, hey, that was cool again. It was just like... And there was so much of you just like, wow, there's... that looks... okay.
I think if it had been a bit of a shorter scene...
It's like a 3-minute scene.
Yeah. If it had been maybe like a 1-minute scene, and then you could have as much stuff, but if you did some of it just really, 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 really fast, like massively sped up the footage, it would have been okay. But it also annoyed me that he was moving through the house, but he'd be going like, to say like 100% of his speed, and then like the next scene he'd be going like 20%, and then he needs to go a bit faster because someone's...
Yeah, he would slow down, but everything else would stay the same. So he'd be like, it was weird. He would be like super speed inside the slow-mo, then he would stop to what we were perceiving as normal speed inside the slow-mo to look at certain things. And while that made for entertainingness, it was a little bit, and it's a problem with when you have speedsters and you don't put an actual speed limit on them.
Yeah.
And don't go, okay, he can only move at this sort of speed. It was cool because he saved everyone except for one, but we never saw him dead. Havoc.
Yeah, he could have got teleported somewhere.
We don't know. I think he's meant to be dead, but the whole point was,
It's not proven.
It was meant to be a dramatic moment for Scott Summers, because Scott Summers, Havoc's his brother. Which, interesting point of fact, in the comics, Scott Summers is older, but in the movie, it's the other way around.
I wasn't sold on them being brothers, just the way they interact with each other.
Well, they are brothers.
Yeah, but like their performance didn't sell me on the fact that they were brothers.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Like overall, I enjoyed the movie and I thought it was fun. Yeah, I know you didn't, but like I'm probably more forgiving with movies than you are to start with. But I had fun. I enjoyed it as a movie. But there were a number of things, this being one of them, that I was like, I don't feel that relationship between these two guys.
No, I that's also the problem I had with Magneto's wife and kid. Like, it just felt so shoehorned in, and it was like, hey, we're filming an X-Men movie. Oh, let's make a Magneto movie. And then halfway through going, oh, damn, this is meant to be X-Men.
We've got the wrong title.
We got the wrong title. Okay, quickly jump to the other people.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like the only reason that he had a wife and kid was so they could kill him and make him turn evil again.
And that's also why you don't walk around with a bow out like this. Because eventually your hand will get tired and then Magneto will kill you.
Unless you're Oliver Queen.
Yeah, it's because he's in a different universe. Magneto can't kill him.
No, that's true.
He's fine.
I'm just saying.
So Hawkeye better watch out.
Except he's in a different movie. If you're talking movies and on screen, he's a different universe.
But it's possible he could get killed.
We're doing a massive tangents today.
Although, Quicksilver did save his life. So therefore you can argue that Magneto saved Hawkeye's life. This trailer should be... Sci-Fi Scholars. tangents.
Pretty much. Get back to the movie.
Okay, so I also had the problem I had in that scene was the arrow went way too far into the little girl's body.
What? It's killed both of them somehow.
Yeah. If you get shot in the...
I didn't realize... I'm watching this going...
I thought the mother was holding the kid. Yeah, but apparently it killed the mother as well. Because it went straight through the girl's spine, which should slow the arrow down so much.
And he didn't have it that taut.
No.
Like, that I did not know the mother had died until he went to the factory and was like...
I realised when he was holding them to, like, my girls, rah. So I figured it out then. But I was like, that's bullshit. Like, it should not have killed both of them. The girl, yes, she got shot right in the spine, but she should have just become probably paraplegic. Not quite, because it was above. Yeah.
Whatever.
So she should have been not able to walk. We'd be fine. She can just get the deer to carry her around, no problem.
Just put a little bit of metal and he can just...
Yeah, well, she can't walk, but, like, he can make her walk, which would be kind of irritating.
No, but, like...
Go over there. No, Dad. Fine. But, yes. It was a bit contrived. I thought her powers were interesting. At first I was trying to figure out how the hell that she was going to be the Scarlet Witch, and then I'm like, this is not the Scarlet Witch.
No.
Yeah.
I think the kid that you see in Days of Future Past that Quicksilver's holding when he's sitting there watching Mayday on the screen and you're going, why are you still there standing watching? Why aren't you running up there? I think that is meant to be Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
But they didn't elaborate on that at all in this.
No.
Which I don't mind because stupid.
There was already enough characters that they were kind of half ignoring.
Yeah, and Quicksilver doesn't even show up for like ages, and then all of a sudden you're just like randomly.
I'm now in charge. It was a Magneto movie, then it was a Quicksilver movie, and they're like, wait, we called this Apocalypse. Where's he gone?
See, going to Apocalypse.
They have 3 directors for each of their main characters. It's my movie, no, it's my movie.
It's mine. I liked Oscar Isaac. Interesting enough, who's Poe Dameron in Star Wars. Yep. I liked his portrayal of what he got given, but I don't think he was a very well written villain. Like, the whole time I'm sitting there going, while he sounds cool, he's very manipulative, that was it. There was nothing else to him.
It would have been cool. Else. There's like in ancient times, a very specific list of powers. Yeah, what were they? You said he has a very specific list of powers. You could have, put subtitles under each of the things in the different languages. That would have been cool. His very specific list of powers is unmentionable. We don't know what they were. The only thing that no one can read this.
The only two that I could pick up on, fully, was obviously his teleportation thingy that he was doing.
Yep, the ball.
But that necessarily wasn't a power. That could have just been a piece of tech.
Yeah.
And he could make people just disintegrate. Or things disintegrate.
Yes.
They were the only two, really. And obviously he obviously had a manipulative...
He also had some sort of ability to heighten other mutations. He used tech to transfer into hijack other bodies.
Yeah, which is...
Also, when he moved into the regenerative kid's body, right? He ended up in his own body, but now can heal. So that didn't really... That would have worked better if they did a blood transfusion. So he steals the powers, as opposed to just jumping into someone else. Yeah, so I didn't like that. But overall...
But then how else would he have been living so long before that? That's why they did it that way. To explain that he'd been alive for so long, he'd been transferring his consciousness, and then he finally find
a healer.
Someone who's like Wolverine too. You get my joint. I just want to now go on to the only scene that I actually really enjoyed.
The credits.
No.
You do enjoy them.
If you haven't figured out, I actually did not like this movie at all. The only thing that has this bit of saving grace for me in this movie was the Wolverine scene, because you got to see an unhinged killing machine.
Yeah, I didn't like his headband, but
no, I didn't like the headband either. But the unhinged killing machine, where there's blood going everywhere, and he's just like he kills 50 people.
Now it's a Deadpool movie.
But what I liked about that is even because they're all Mystique and all the other 3, 4, 5, or however many of them were taken by what's his face?
Mage Striker.
Yeah.
With a Y.
Striker, and they were the ones hidden. They were taken captive, and then they were freaking out about what the hell was happening upstairs. They're like, holy
They couldn't
crap.
see what was happening.
No, they couldn't, but I liked that. It was just like, they had no idea, and they were petrified. And it was literally just Wolverine, just without...
I'm bored. You guys locked me up for too long.
And I did kind of like the whole... Because they just replayed some of the stuff that happened in X-Men 1 or 2, sort of, without, like, stuff that you never saw in X-Men 1 or 2, or even Origins, or even the Wolverine. How he unlocks a bit of his mind.
Yeah,
I thought
that
it
was cool.
that it was
and
Jean
it also
Grey.
sets up why he would be... why he would have an affection for Jean Grey.
Yes.
Because he's now going to have a memory of some random chick who obviously is Jean Grey, who helped him when he was just going nuts.
Yeah, and he has no idea that it's her.
And later on, he probably would figure it out and stuff. But that was cool. So I enjoyed that he was in it. I thought his headband thing was stupid.
It didn't look very good.
It looked...
The whole idea of it, I think, is cool and is very, very much from the comics. I'm pretty certain. But yeah, it was a little bit weird.
For me, it just looked wrong. It didn't suit. But hey, that's whatever. I also had a bit of a problem with the way they did the Jean Grey Xavier taking down Apocalypse. I thought Jean Grey should have got in there earlier, and it should have been the two of them working together, as opposed to
all her. Yeah. Yeah, well, this is at the end when Apocalypse gets... Well, Xavier believes he can get into Apocalypse's mind, but then Apocalypse takes over, and, you know, Xavier's getting his ass handed to him. And you're just sitting there going, Jean Grey's going to come into his mind. Jean Grey's going to come in. And you're like, hurry the frack up and get into his
He's like, come help me. He's like, come help me like for it felt like 5 minutes, and then she's like, oh, finally, maybe I'll help.
And then she becomes the Phoenix Force. I was like, way too soon.
Well, it would have been okay if, for example, it had been she chose to be the Phoenix Force. If Apocalypse had just owned her and she just reacted with some massive mind wave blast that she couldn't control, would have been believable.
And then you could be like, oh, that's more of a revealing of where it's going to go, not necessarily her becoming or using the Phoenix Force.
Yeah, because as far as I'm aware, in the comics, the Phoenix Force is a sentient life form that hijacks psychics' bodies, and because it's a lone being that travels the universe, when it's with Jean Grey, it experiences human emotions and doesn't know how to deal with it because it's never had to live in community, so it freaks out all the time. And late in the comic series, Jean Grey and the Phoenix basically have an agreement that the Phoenix will experience community and inter-sentient relationships through Jean Grey's experience, and when Jean Grey needs help, she'll better tap into the Phoenix Force's powers. Like, it's a
symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, as opposed to this, which just suggests that she's got this alter ego that's super powerful and a bit nuts.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even that. It's not even an alter ego. It just kind of felt like her power.
Yeah. Like,
she somehow was ridiculously powerful. Which she is, but at the same time, it was... Yeah,
Yeah, so I didn't particularly like how that was done. But overall, we kind of knew that Jean Grey was going to be there to help as a psychic.
Yeah, but I feel like it should have just been her coming into the mind a lot earlier, and then those two together, forcing Apocalypse out and getting on top of him before then everyone else. There was another point in that fight where they were like, you had Scott Summers with his thing down, just like powering it, and then for some unknown reason, he decides to go and put his glasses back on, and then gets owned by Apocalypse. It's like,
yeah,
it made no sense in the moment for him to do that.
Oh, he
and the beast comes.
He needed to blink.
No, but
he needed to blink.
The problem being then later, because he gets held in the wall. It's like, why didn't Apocalypse just kill him? But anyway, puts him into the wall, and then Beast comes along and smashes him out later, and then he pulls off his glasses straight away. It's like, so why did he put him on in the first place?
Yeah, it was silly. And then Quicksilver got stuck because apparently Apocalypse can catch up to super speed.
Yeah, so that didn't make much sense.
Apocalypse's power effectively seems to be heightening other mutants' powers, stealing them, and whatever mutant powers are around him, he can just adapt to. And
it was a little weird because
match.
Quicksilver was super speeding the entire time and just punching, punch, and then it wasn't until he was just randomly opened his eye. Like, he did that white eye thingy, and then was like, got the ground into his leg, and then broke his leg, which effectively pulled him out of the fight for the rest of the fight. And then there's like the moment with Mystique comes in and pretends to be Psylocke, and then tries to slit his throat. Does, but then he heals, and then and then he grabs her, and then for an eternity, Apocalypse just stands there going, "I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill her."
Yeah, it was slow. It was silly.
I'm going to kill her. It's like, are you going to kill her or not, douche?
And then when Psylocke had Beast with her two things.
Yeah, pulls her instead of trying.
Even when she first wrapped it around his neck, it should have been just using that power and just head off. So that fight scene was a bit silly overall.
Yes. Oh man, that's just.
But
by this point in the movie,
you'd give
all the good graces had gone. Like, it saved itself a tiny little bit with the Wolverine scene because I really enjoyed it. But this is a big thing for me. I actually was like, this is me normally when I'm sitting there watching a movie. Like, just I don't look away from the screen. This movie, like, you're on my other side, but I was just like, I wonder what Sam's doing. I was like, oh, he's watching the movie. I'm like, what's supposed on outside? Oh, they're watching the movie. I'm like, oh yeah, the movie's on. I actually felt like walking out after about 15 minutes. I actually was like, I'm ready to walk out. I actually wouldn't mind if I missed the rest of this movie. That's a pretty rare thing for me.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, and there was nothing wrong with the direction. Like, what I liked about the direction is he didn't try to do anything. Bryan Singer didn't try to do anything stupid, like constant shaky cam, or he was consistent.
Yeah.
It was very cookie cutter blockbuster, but it was consistently directed. Looked okay. Yeah. Nothing special. Like, it wasn't distracting in any way. It wasn't like, hey, that's a weird camera angle. It was, or, whoa, what's going on there? It was like, wow, that's amazing. It was just, yeah, watching a movie. And the other problem for me is there just seemed to be a lot of unfinished visual effects, or it seemed to be unfinished visual effects. I get it with when you actually CGI people, like,
it can be hard. Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, you watch The Flash; it has a similar sort of thing. You're like, yeah, that's a CGI guy. Yeah. It's not a great CGI effect yet. I think they're still a few years off from getting that right, I reckon, in any shape or form. But even stuff like one of the scenes with the one of those shipyards with all the big massive things.
When it had the magnetic pole, the magnetism thing annoyed me as well. It didn't look right, but
anyway, there was a whole heap of stuff that I was just like, it just didn't work. And the whole time, the Magneto storyline, showing him as a good guy, then he becomes the fourth horseman because he was the fourth.
Yeah.
And then the whole time you're going, Magneto's going to turn good. Not 100% sure why, but it's going to be something. What I did like is they didn't use Quicksilver as the one.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice for them not to go, hey, he's your son, and then him going, oh, okay, shit, I'll turn on, what's his name? For me, that was the one okay thing about it, but it was just like the whole time.
Yeah, it was the Mystique.
Mystique and Xavier and treating him as family. But for me, it was just like, Magneto's going to turn good now. He's going to turn good again. Because deep down, for all 6 movies, they've been trying to portray Magneto as a good guy. Who just happens to have a different point of view and just happens to kill.
Yeah.
Which I don't have a problem with necessarily. It's just, don't try and make me think he's going to destroy the entire world. Like, it
wasn't well executed, yeah.
It was poorly executed. And there felt like, the other thing I didn't like, there was no stakes. You've had the Deadpool movie.
Havoc.
You've had the Deadpool movie. You've had the last scene of X-Men Days of Future Past. You're just like, the world's not going to be destroyed. Like, I'm just sitting there the whole movie going, I'm not emotionally invested in any of this. I couldn't have cared less about Magneto's wife and kid. I just want to know
I was trying to figure out who the kid was, but
I just didn't care because they didn't get that much screen time, and there was no previous interaction of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, you couldn't give them more screen time because then it just becomes a Magneto movie. But there was so much of it that it was just like, oh, they died, so what? Oh, okay, that makes Magneto a bad guy. Okay, now Magneto's a bad guy. So when's he going to turn on Apocalypse and become good again? Oh, look, there he is. It's just, for me, there was no stakes. There was no invested involvement. It just... I just kept thinking, this is a terrible movie. But it's not a badly made movie. It's actually pretty well made.
The script was the issue.
It's not just the script, it was the universe and all of it, just trying to make it work. It's just... And I didn't like any of the recastings. Scott Summers was the only one that was kind of okay, and he was not that good. Did not like the chick who played Jean Grey. I thought she was terrible at Jean Grey. Half the time I'm going, she's not even in the same ballpark.
Yeah,
you had a scene with Professor Xavier, and I'm just going, he's killing it, but she is destroying the scene. And the guy who plays Nightcrawler, I felt like his lines should have been funny. And a lot of people did laugh, but the whole time I'm just going, it feels really forced. Like he's not naturally a funny guy. I could be totally wrong, but from the context of Nightcrawler... His
accent was also really...
terrible.
Yeah. Like, I get that they're trying to do an accent, but it seemed forced as well.
That's probably part of the reason why some of the lines for me fell flat when they should have been a lot more...
Amusing
and a lot more enjoyable than they were.
And I'm pretty sure he's meant to be older than that, but whatever.
Yeah, they changed all that for the movie, and I don't really mind that. It was just, for me, I felt like they were cast wrong.
Yeah. We'll see, because obviously they're going to keep making X-Men movies. Well, I did like the line where they said, we can all agree the third one's the worst. Which is funny, because obviously they're referencing Star Wars.
They're talking about Star Wars at the time and talking about Return of the Jedi. They just walked out of it and said, they're like, oh, Empire's still the best, but it's like, one of them's like, oh no, but this first one, because without the first one, you'd have this, and it's like, so we can all agree the third one's the worst.
Which is making a joke also about X-Men 3, but this is the third one in the First Class trilogy. And it doesn't bode well if they make a new X-Men trilogy, because that would be the third X-Men trilogy. So, they've set themselves up there. But that line worked really well.
I liked that line. That was very good. I do.
But that wasn't Nightcrawler.
No, it wasn't.
But I think that was as funny as the other lines, but it was just delivered better.
It was a really throwaway line in a really throwaway scene, but it was perfect.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the... Yeah. So there are some good things that I like about the movie.
Yeah.
That's pretty few and far between.
Yeah, overall, I enjoyed the movie and had fun. And I obviously really want to see the next Wolverine movie that's coming out.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Because apparently they're adapting... I think they're adapting the Old Man Logan storyline. Either way, the post-credit scene with the Essex Corp sets that up a little bit with... I read a bit about it. It's a villain. I can't remember his name. It's Mr.
Mr. Essex.
No, it's Sinister. Mr. Sinister or something like that. Either way, he's the one that creates X-23, who in the Marvel Comics becomes the new Wolverine.
Okay.
And is also a bad guy for Deadpool. And he's a bit of a darker character, a bit more on the crazy edge.
I really hope in the next one Gambit comes back. I like that guy. He wasn't in this at all.
No, I didn't expect him to be.
Obviously, we had no reason to be because he doesn't trust anyone or whatever. But I really hope he's in the next Wolverine movie.
That would be interesting. I don't think he will be, though.
They should chuck him in.
I think Deadpool has a cameo in the next Wolverine.
That would make sense.
From what I've heard. I don't know. I don't really know that much.
Because I'm pretty sure obviously in First Class series, Wolverine and Gambit already kind of know each other. Doesn't Deadpool know Gambit as well?
Oh, hold on. Recording stopped. Why did the recording stop?
When?
Just then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're good now.
Yeah, so I think Deadpool also knows Gambit.
Yes.
So that would be an interest. I want to see Gambit come back. I personally like Gambit as a character.
I do too.
I want to see a lot more of him. So obviously, there is a Gambit movie coming out.
Was meant to come out this year.
It's coming out next year. And it doesn't matter when you watch this video; it'll be coming out next year. So in other words, we're not getting the Gambit video. You won't get a review of Gambit because it's coming out next year, and then yeah.
It's always coming out next year.
And if you've seen this next year, just watch this again. It's coming out next year.
I'm sure they'll eventually make it.
They better. I want to see that movie.
I do. I want to see that too. I think that if done right, and I liked Taylor Kitsch, if that's how you say his name, as Gambit in Origins Wolverine, but it's now Channing Tatum, which will be interesting to see how he goes with that. What I'm really interested to see with the X-Men universe and what they do next is none of the main actors, like from the first class, so Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy, Nicholas Hoult, Jennifer Lawrence, or Hugh Jackman, all their contracts are up. And both Jennifer Lawrence and Hugh Jackman have both said, I'm done. This is their last, you got the Wolverine, the next Wolverine 3, whatever they're going to call it, for Hugh Jackman. But Jennifer Lawrence is already done. That's her last movie.
For her it's fine, because she can just pick new. They can put anyone they want and just make her look like something different.
Yes, they
could. Or they can just run it mainly as Mystique. So for her, yes, they've lost someone, but that character doesn't matter.
But Beast, Nicholas Hoult, his contract's up.
They can just run him as Beast, so they can get away with that.
It's still
he'll look a bit different.
He'll look different no matter what, because the actor's face is still on it.
Yeah, but you can screw that with just some footage of him messing with a new
drug,
trying to make it last longer, and he goes more beastie. Fine, you can get. But obviously, the ones that look like their human version all the time are going to be an issue.
Yes, James McAvoy as Professor X and Michael Fassbender. Although Matt Fassbender as Magneto, they have said if the script's right, they would come back. Those three.
So basically, what they're saying is this one wasn't fantastic, so it's on you to write.
It's just because their contracts are all up. So, which makes me think that when you sign up nowadays, they probably sign you up for more than 3 movies. I'm pretty certain they'll now want to sign you up for 6 or 9 movies because they're like, oh damn, 3 movies is up. That was quick. Anyway,
yeah.
The whole point of this movie was to recast all the Jean Grey, Scott Summers, and I'm thinking the next movie will focus on those guys, those younger actors, which to me is disappointing. And knowing me, I'll go see it anyway, and I'll probably sit here going, well, this is a terrible movie. Whenever they do
Or it's possible because it'll be a couple of years' time, they'll be better actors.
I don't necessarily think that's...
It's possible, but they might...
Not necessarily that they're bad actors, I just think
they're just better in these roles. With a bit more... Because they didn't have that much time.
No. But yeah.
So they might get better. They might recast them anyway. They might bring in some time travel again just to reset the universe and change continuity.
I think also my expectations were probably a little bit too high for it because of Days of Future Past. And the reason I like Days of Future Past so much is, I like Wolverine. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine just kills it. I also like
literally
Iceman.
Everyone just dies.
Yeah. I like Iceman, who obviously he's not in this movie. I like Kitty Pryde, and she wasn't in this movie. They're the main 3 that I really like, and then
the end of this one had the Sentinels.
That was in the war room though. There wasn't real that's that's still a holographic room that doesn't actually have them really.
Yeah, but still, it's Sentinels. I thought it was great. I'm like, they gotta fight Sentinels. It'd be hilarious if they got loose.
That's them training. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a cool scene.
Can you imagine it? If they actually had real Sentinels and they got loose? They'd be like, oh shit. The next one, X-Men. Sentinels got loose.
But yeah, so we're probably going to have a shorter review of this because I don't want to try and cut this one up.
No, we will do a slightly more controlled version.
So,
we won't rant about Ellen Sambudner and other trailers for an hour and a half.
No,
we could. We could have Sci-Fi Scholars talking about trailers.
So I'm just going to stress how I really didn't like this movie. This is the first time we've kind of had
different opinions.
Not polar opposite because you enjoyed it, but you didn't think it was great.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I did see a lot of problems with basically every movie.
True, but
you can't make a perfect movie.
No,
you can make a movie called The Perfect Movie, but that's about as close as you can get.
That would be the perfect movie because
it's
called The Perfect Movie. So, arguably, it's the perfect movie because it is.
By definition. Other than that, there's always going to be errors in movies. There's always going to be things that we disagree on creatively to whoever did it.
But yeah, this is our first review where we haven't actually agreed.
Yeah.
On how we felt about it.
Which means next time you're gonna have to like the movie and I'll dislike it. So we're gonna say that for Ghostbusters.
I don't think that's a movie I'm gonna like.
Fine, I'll bring someone else in for that.
Maybe we'll see.
You have to like it.
Whoever's in the middle is gonna like it.
Or maybe not.
They're not probably gonna. We're tangent again, but they're not gonna fit in that, so we'll have to move across a little bit.
We'll get a small child.
I have lots of brothers. Well, we're tangenting a lot in this one. So if you stuck with us this entire
basically
time...
we're tangenting because there was enough stuff in it that we disliked, but we also had fun talking about it more than...
I feel like I could have destroyed this movie a lot more, but...
We still can.
I just can't stress enough how much I didn't like this movie, and I did not expect that.
No, I did like it because it was fun.
I didn't find it fun.
After about your opinion's wrong.
After about the first 10-15 minutes, there was it lost all its saving grace with me, and everything after that I was just like, ugh.
You're just a sellout, no, it's a good critic. Like everyone's hating on it. I think that's the new thing. If you're a critic, you have to hate on movies. Why?
Unless it's Marvel, and by Marvel I mean Marvel Studios.
Because you get better ratings on everything wrong with X movie.
Yeah.
You're just a sellout, Jet.
I'm sorry. I'm a sellout.
Now pay us. Thanks, he's a sellout. No, that's quite silly. Anyway, so next week we'll be back without a movie review. We're going to do a bit of a recap of the Flash universe, the Arrow universe, Legends of Tomorrow, and how that's wrapped up their respective different seasons number. And excitingly, they've got a couple more shows for next season. They've got Supergirl, and then they're reorganising all their other things. So it's literally going to be the CW network is just DC TV shows.
Pretty much. We'll talk about that next week, though.
It should be the DCW.
The DCW. Oh,
but
man,
that's next week.
Hard.
Anyway, that's next week. We'll see you then.
Thanks for watching if you stuck around with us. This is probably what... I'm still going. What am I doing?
Shut up!
This is what I think we're both a little sleep deprived.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.